You want to know how to use OBS and you want to be able to stream on any platform, including YouTube, Twitch, or whichever of your choice. I'm going to show you how to easily link those together and how you can get all of those cool overlays such as the text chat overlay that I'm pretty sure that you've been looking for a while. This is going to be quite an easy guide and I want to help you figure this out for all the up and coming streamers, and also for my buddy Ricky out there. Great idea. So let's go ahead and get started on how you can use OBS Studios. First thing you're going to need to do is go down to the description box if you need help finding it, but you need to go to the website obsproject.com. Now, depending on the system you're on, this is going to be based on a Windows OBS Studio setup. But it's practically going to be the same mostly between Windows and Mac OS for the most part. But for Linux, it's a whole nother story, which I could always make another video for that. If you do need help with that, please let me know. So let's go ahead and start it for Windows. So you're going to hit Windows and it's going to automatically download on the right hand corner here. And you're just going to install it. And once it downloads, you're going to open up the file. And you're gonna have to hit yes because you do want to install OBS, right? So go next. It's gonna go into your system just like this. Because I already have it on my PC, don't worry, I'm gonna start it fresh so you really can get a good idea of how to do this. I'm gonna go over to Docks here. We're gonna just start a new profile. We'll call this fresh. Now you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but this is what it's going to look like when you first open up OBS Studios. If you want to optimize it for streaming, which is going to be what we're doing right now, and recording is secondary, select the first option. Because if you are planning to stream, this is what you should select. Now you can optimize just for recording if you're not planning on streaming, or you can even just use a virtual camera. This is going to be based on streaming, so we're going to go ahead and optimize for streaming. Recording is secondary. You're going to hit next, and then you're going to select your base canvas. Now, we're not going to overcomplicate things because most people will watch on a 1080, a 1920 by 1080 display. So that's what we're going to go ahead and choose. And then for FPS, you can use either 60 or 30, but 60 when possible. Hit next and choose your service. Now the nice thing is Twitch does have a feature where OBS now has a feature where you can connect your account. This is the most easiest and plain method. You can go ahead and choose this if you're going to connect your Twitch account and you're just going to sign in. Or you can choose any other service such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Show All, and so much more. Which, if you don't choose to connect account, which you don't have to, you can also use a stream key. Now a stream key, this is going to be good to know for future knowledge and what I'm going to explain about it. So say you do click stream key, you can find the stream key when you sign into Twitch. And now the stream key is going to be important for those who are planning to multi-stream. If you are going to multi-stream, I will explain that in a bit, but what I would select for your major platform when it comes to OBS, select that platform first, and then go ahead and I'll show you how to select the other multi-stream platforms later. Once you log into your Twitch, you're going to go to your profile here, go to Creator Dashboard, then you're going to go over to your stream settings right here, and then you're going to go over to your primary stream key, which is here, and you're just going to copy this. That's your stream key. So you're just going to copy this and you'll paste it here. And what that'll do is it will link your account to Twitch. So we'll hit that. It's going to run some tests. So it's going to look for your most local server here. And since I'm currently in Miami, this is where it's going to find the closest servers. This is what it's going to recommend you. These are all great settings. You want your video bitrate to be at 6000. You do want your hardware to be H.264. This is pretty standard. And also your recording high quality, medium file size because it doesn't matter as much. And now you're probably wondering about my Canva here. Most of the time it's not going to look like this. You got to learn the settings here, which is going to be up here in Files, Settings. So once you go into Settings here, you're going to see different options. You're going to see language. Obviously you want English, update channel. You want stable. You could go into beta, but that's a whole nother story. And they do have other options such as output, source. Again, with OBS, it's very flexible, but don't let this really overwhelm you. You could go to appearance, you could choose different themes. We're just going to go with the normal theme, but if you want another video based on appearance, we could do that, where you have the stream already set up. Now output, we do have it set on 1080p. Remember, that's what we selected in the beginning. Now it should be at 1080p. How do you really start streaming if you can't even see yourself? This is where scenes come into handy. So we're gonna create our first scene here. Right click and click add scene. Now you can name the scene anything you'd like. For example, we're gonna call this live action. So we're gonna call it live action, and that's just the scene. That is literally just like a movie scene. So just like if you want to switch over to a game, that would be a different scene. If you want to switch over to a messenger like Discord, that will be another scene. If you want to switch over to a browser, that would be a different scene. You want to be right back, that's another scene. You want to say you're going to take a bathroom break, that's another scene. So anyway, the most important is your sources. Ignore this. You have to add sources for this to work correctly. So you're going to hit the plus button, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add, say, video capture device, because that's what you're going to need. You're going to need a video capture device. So we're going to click OK. And for example, I use a Sony camera. So this is it, Sony Camera Imaging Edge. Or if you have a different camera, like if you have, say, some sort of webcam, you select that device. Don't worry about what it looks like or where it is. We'll configure that later. All you have to do is select the correct device. That's the most important step. And then click OK. So for example, if you want your camera to be like right here, you can. So, or you can put it right here. Just chatting, you just set it to your resolution, which exactly would look just like this. And then you can just set up your chat overlay here, which I will explain in a minute. And now we're also going to add the audio. So for example, you create audio capture, and then we're going to select the Astro Mix Amp Pro. You go to the settings here, you go to audio, and then you just want to make sure to go down to your microphone. Make sure your microphone audio is set to, say, to the Astro Mix Amp, and click OK, and there it is. Just like magic, it pops up. I'm just muting myself. That's how you do it. If you're live on stream and you're talking and you want to mute yourself, this is exactly how you can do it. You want to figure out how to multi-stream to other platforms, so we're going to have to also set that up. So I just wanted to set up a really basic setting for now, and we'll go a little bit more in depth with scenes. You're going to install something like StreamElements. You're going to look for this. It's called StreamElements.com/SE Live. So you're going to download SE Live for Windows. You're just going to hit that. You're just going to double click it. Make sure to exit out of OBS. Click I agree, hit next, install. It's going to install it, and we're going to launch it. What you'll want to do is you'll see a screen just like this when it comes from SE Live Elements. For example, I'll connect to my YouTube account here. You'll see all this pop up, all this crazy stuff pop up here. So ignore this. You more than likely won't have this other issue. This is just another option, but usually I'll ignore it because I do have two different plugins here. It's not a big deal. So you're gonna see TikTok chat, don't need it. You'll see why. I keep this new canvas for those who like to stream vertically and horizontally, and this is specifically for those that will do it on, say, YouTube, where they have horizontal and vertical, or other platforms that require it. So it's good to have this. So I would just keep it up here. Here you still have your same screen. Elements Control Center, you can ignore that. I don't need it. You get all new notifications here on what comes in. which is pretty dope. This you won't see. You'll see this. This is your StreamElements multi-streaming platform here. That easy. Because we're automatically on Twitch, we didn't need to log on to Twitch. But on StreamElements, you want to make sure that you have both your Twitch, your YouTube. You want to make sure everything's logged in for whichever platforms that you're using. For example, if you want to also stream on YouTube, you can select it. Because you're logged in already on StreamElements, it should be pretty much straightforward on that side. Same thing if you want to go vertical, say, because these are two horizontal, right? If you want to go vertical, you go to the settings, you go to Canvas settings. You can call this a vert. We're going to save vert. Now, when you do stream vertically on places like YouTube or any other platform, make sure that you will need another stream key, which will be explained in a minute here. So we're going to hit this, click Canvas, click vert, and now it's vertical. You see how it just flipped around? Now you can choose to move this. If you want to dock it somewhere else, you can. Say if you don't like it there, you can set it here, for example. That way you get a bigger activity feed. And then, for example, here, we already have Twitch. We already have YouTube. You want to connect your, say, TikTok, you can. You just turn that on. Go to your settings here. And pretty much the same thing. You want to put this vert. Now we have that set. So what about this? How's it going to show vertically? You're going to practically copy everything we did on this end, but you're going to do it on the vertical side. So unfortunately, you have to, there's no really easy way. You can't just like copy and paste it. It would be nice to be able to drag it and put it into there, and then it would automatically do it, but it doesn't. Because it's vertically, we had to create new scenes, so we add the source. And pretty much we're gonna have to need our video capture device here. So we're gonna add existing video capture device, add the source, and there we are. But since it's vertically, we're just gonna have to fit it best we can. So we're gonna fit it just like this about, or however you would like to set your image. Now with the audio side, the good thing is, on the audio end, you don't have to worry. It's going to link up automatically with the same audio mixer for the most part. And I'm sure it will improve over time. And there's going to be a bit more to add on this vertical side. So when you do end up streaming, you're going to hit start stream. And now all these will end up kicking on. Because I'm signed in, now it will automatically start streaming on all the platforms, including I'm also signed in on, say, X. But due to my limited internet, I can't stream on everything, thanks to Comcast. You also need to have a chat overlay, and I highly recommend something like Social Stream's a great app to have, and you can have a nice chat overlay on all your multi-streams. Because we all know when you multi-stream, it's a real big pain when you can't really share your chats. You want everyone to see each other, whether if they're on Twitch, YouTube, X, or whatever platform that they're on, you want to make sure that they're there. So in order to do that, download Social Stream. So when you download Social Stream, it's going to look like this here. Hit download now, and depending on your device, you're going to download it for whatever is required. So for Windows, we're going to download it here. Go down and follow the one that matches your device the most. The latest update was this one. That was 2 weeks ago for Windows, so we're going to install that zip. We're going to actually extract it right here instead. Extract all. Double click it. Now if you see something like Windows protected your PC, just hit more info and run anyway. Just hit next, and let it install. So we're gonna hit run Social Stream, and it's gonna look like this. Now we have this. This is the most important aspect when it comes to chat. It's going to be very easy. It can be, this video honestly could be hours and hours explaining all different aspects of streaming. But it's, again, I'm just gonna show the basic sides, and you can mess with the other aspects of the chat later. So the most important thing is you want to sign in to whatever you use. So for example, I'm signed in YouTube, Twitch, on X, and on TikTok. Since I'm signed in onto all these platforms here, which is easy enough to figure out. You just sign in, you hit the tab right there, and you just sign in to each one. Now when you're signed in, it'll look something like this. Now how's it going to look like? I'm just going to show you kind of like the real default option here. So you see this here, that's important because that's going to be your link, your social link. So you're just going to hit the copy link. And when you copy the link, you're going to right click. Get this. Let me exit out of this because this shouldn't even be here anyway. So you're going to right click here on sources. You're going to add the source. And then you're going to go over to browser. You're going to create, we'll call this chat. Click OK. And now you're going to paste that URL. Right click and click paste. It should be at 1920 by 1080. And now you might not see anything. You're going to try something like this. You're going to hit trigger a fake message. Don't do 800 by 600, 1920 by 1080 here. And now you can kind of resize it to your liking here. Want it bigger where people can actually see the chat, you can. To the scene, you're going to hit the menu button. You're going to add browser and we're going to add chat. Add existing, add chat. And make sure that sits on top. Now if you have a problem when it comes to dragging, it does something like that, you can lock it. So you can lock your video capture device. That way it's more stable. And then shrink it to just about here. Now I know it's a bit small to see, but again, you can adjust it if you prefer this to be bigger. It's not going to be your main focus as much as when it comes to your scenes here. Maybe you want to move your controls out here to the left to say. Alright, perfect. We have the chat set up. Now, when you are going live here, to see your chat, you can actually bring it up to your monitor, something like this. You can have it transparent. Or if you prefer to see it a bit better, like if you do change any of these options here, just know you have to recopy the link because the link URL will also change. So now you have your chat and you also have video feed and you have your audio, which are all most important aspects. The next step is learning to control what to do next when it comes to your scenes here. And when it comes to your scenes here, you can right click, add scene, and say you want to do some sort of gaming scene, you go to gaming, right? You've probably felt like, oh, I lost everything. Well, not quite. What happens is you're just creating a new scene. Remember what I said. So you're just transitioning into a different part. So we're gonna highlight all this stuff. You can copy it and paste it to make it easier. And all you have to do now is just resize everything. So to copy and paste, you just do Control C, and the paste is Control V. But you probably see one problem already. Why can I see the text on top of the camera? Remember what I said about the layers. You want to put the chat underneath the video, and there you go. Now it's under the video. It's not as disturbing, so you could make yourself smaller just like this, and you can put it just like, you can cover up here, or you can bring it down. If you prefer to see less chat history, you just bring down your camera, and I think we like it just like this. And say if you want to set up, like say a browser source, for example, say you want to do gaming, you just add source, you go to game capture, you can call it game capture, and then you can capture any full screen application. And what will happen is while you're playing a game, double click say Doom. While that's loading up, how about we do this? We'll create another scene. Just hit that plus button, call it browser. But let's go back to gaming. Looks like that's all finished downloading, and I'll explain browser in a minute. When it goes into game capture, if it doesn't come up for you, you can select a specific window. Remember, you want to have your game capture on the bottom, then you kind of want to set it. Because it's set on ultra wide, my screen, I'm just going to set it to probably right around here. And remember, you're going to have to do the same with the vertical. So if you're wondering why this hasn't changed, that's going to be the reason why. And also, if you want to make sure that your game audio is captured, you have your audio capture. I accidentally hid mine, so We'll just mute that, but you can select the volume if it's too loud. For your viewers, you can adjust it just like this. Now when it comes to your vertical side, you're just going to practically do the same thing. Create a new scene, we'll call it gaming. Now we're going to try to see if it'll work here. So what we can do, copy it, Control C, go to gaming, paste. Unfortunately it doesn't. We're gonna have to manually put everything in. We're gonna go ahead and add source, video capture device. Good thing is it makes it really easy at browser because everything will already technically exist. So it's just gonna be all together. You just gotta resize it. We're gonna resize this video. I mean the chat because it's way too big. Put it like that maybe. Put the video right here. If you don't want yourself too big maybe. You could have it transparent just like this. Cleaner look, just put the video on top. Something like that maybe is better. You kind of want to fill the screen. Gives it a better look in my opinion. When it comes to your source, your game source, make sure to do the same. Game capture. Add existing, game capture. And there it is. Kind of want to set it directly in the middle. Most games will be centered in the middle. And that's how you can set up your game capture. Now, if you want to switch back to just talking, you just simply go back to your screen just like this. And now, but you see the problem here is I can't switch with the vertical. In order to do that, you want to link your scenes. You're going to right click it. You're going to link your scene to say your live action with your scene 1. I should have named it just chatting. You want to link your scene to gaming. So now you can switch between the two. So now when you go live action, gaming, it'll switch. If you want to go into a browser, just so to say, let's get out of Doom. If you go to the browser, we're going to kind of copy everything but game capture. Because it's pretty much going to be the same basis for this part. And for this, let me see. You know, StreamElements, you should really add a copy and paste. Would make life so much easier. You're going to hit the plus button here, create new scene. We're going to call this browser. Add scene. And we're going to link it to the browser. You're going to add your sources here. We'll add the camera. We'll also add the chat. Add the chat. Maybe you want to set it a little different. You can, just to let people know you're on a browser. All we have to do is add one more extra thing, which is going to be window capture. Browsing web. Battlefield 6 release date. There you go. Just kind of increase it there, increase the size. It works in layers. We're going to drop this all the way to the bottom so you can still see the chat and people can still see you. And chat can go under the video side. There you go. That looks a bit better. And same thing here on the browser side. You're just going to go over to the window capture. Add the window capture. You can set it just like this, or you can enlarge it a bit. Make it a bit bigger for everyone to see here. And you want to have this again on the bottom because otherwise you'll cover up something. You have 3 different scenes that you can flip through. So now you know how to multi-stream. Now you have your chat, and now you have your browser. But most importantly, you want to make sure everything is working. So when you hit start stream, you're going to get a message just like this. Now you can create a new broadcast straight from OBS, which makes it so much easier. Create a new broadcast, call this test. We'll call it TikTok test. And you got to make sure to fill out all the fields. The testing, no one. It will ask you for the stream keys on certain aspects, such as this stream key. Now, if you ever have to create a new stream key, just to let you guys know, for example, on YouTube, which it will ask you for anyone that is streaming, multi-streaming, you will have to go to YouTube, go to your studio like you usually do, and then you're just going to hit the studio button. We're going to hit schedule stream. Now say we're going to reuse these settings. Now the difference is when you start to do this stream, I'm going to make this unlist it. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to create a new stream key. You're going to have to create 2 different streams practically on YouTube. You're going to have a default stream and then whichever type of stream key that you choose to create. So because once you hit create, you can name the stream key. So you'll see it pop up. You'll see, for example, I have it named as vertical stream. StreamElements does certainly make it easy. You don't have to copy and paste constantly when it comes to stream keys. Everything is in one place. There is another options besides StreamElements. There's another tool that's really good. I can also make a video based on that other tool, but I feel StreamElements is the best tool, honestly, in my personal opinion, and the easiest to use. And there you go. Start stream and you're pretty much good to go. Hopefully you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you feel that I missed out on any type of information, please feel free to put it down in the comments down below, or feel free to contact in Discord if you do need any type of help. And hopefully this helped you out, Ricky. I really do. If you know anybody else who needs help with streaming, please share this video with them. And also, if you're not part of the Big Wonderful fan band, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. And for all the newest updates, make sure you follow my X handle right here, as it is the same as my TikTok and IG as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.